start. Yeah.
All the best, ma'am.
Okay, first of all, ma'am, happy Women's Day.
Thank you so much.
So,
And same to you. I think it is a day which should be celebrated every day, not
yeah,
just for one day. Let us do it every day. No?
definitely.
It is every day, but हाँ ये तो है, बिल्कुल सही बात है. तो आज
So,
स्पेशल डे है, तो युविका, please start.
All the
okay.
best, ma'am.
Firstly, about Gurmeet ma'am, she has been a wonderful teacher, wonderful professor, a wonderful researcher, and most of all, a wonderful human being I have known in the department. And she has always been inspiring, so inspiring. I have never seen her demotivating any student or anybody. She's always so enthusiastic uh, about research, and coming on terms like for women empowerment, she has never differentiated between boys and girls. So like, you are a woman, you can't go. She has been an example for women in research, especially in geology, which is actually considered a male dominating stream. So firstly, I would like to know, like, at your times, like in my times, there are equal number of boys and girls in a batch. So what was the scenario at your times, and have you ever been demotivating, like being a girl, you are in geology, so you should not pursue it, or like that kind of things? Have you faced it?
Okay, thank you, Yuvika. It's so nice to hear you say such warm words, such loving words for me and introducing me. Although we are very few people here in the group, but it feels so good to see two of my students and one of my seniors and a very, very senior colleague, as Dr. Ritesh Arya mentioned. So, sir, before I start, I want to thank you also for organizing this Zoom meeting where you said I should speak about my journey as a geologist, how I came into geology, and what challenges I faced in a way. As Yuvika mentioned, was I ever demotivated and stuff like that? So, okay, my journey in this field is very interesting because I never had any inclination of opting geology. I was not aware what geosciences or earth sciences is all about. The only thing which made me fascinated to opt this stream was that I will get to travel a lot. To be very honest, I'm very fond
Same,
of traveling.
same
And
from my side.
yeah, because in Chandigarh, I've been in this city for almost now. I think I was in in sixth standard when my father was transferred from Madhya Pradesh to this place. Like, we were at Bhopal for quite some time, so my primary education is all in Bhopal. So I was here from sixth standard onwards. So in schools also, there's no curriculum where they teach you about geology. It's mostly about geography. But I was always very fascinated by my geography teacher. I still remember her name, Mrs. Jagir Kaur. And I studied in 16 model. So she would, whenever she'll enter the class, she will draw the map of India in a very fine manner, and she will put all the states, because we used to plot some state capitals on the map, like
Yeah.
political map, and maybe some mineral deposits, because we were aware of certain mineral belts like iron ore kahan milta hai, where do we get the processing of iron ore, like few things we were aware of. But besides that, there was nothing which we could relate with geology. And so when I gave the CET exam, in those days there was this entrance exam for engineering and for this BSc honors school. So absolutely, I tried for engineering and I got admission in civil engineering in Batinda. But somehow, as destiny had its own way, I could not go to Batinda, and I was interviewed here. It was a formality, like whatever merit you have, according to that, they offer you certain subjects. So I opted for geology honors, and I had no idea what geology is all going to be about. But when I joined this department, I was very fascinated by the nice museum which we have in this department, with beautiful display of rocks and fossils. And I still remember there's a huge map of India where tiny
Yeah,
bulbs,
light
they
bulbs.
glow, to give you an idea about which part of India is enriched in which mineral. So I remember going to and the fun of entering a university was also quite interesting. So we were, I think, around 20 in that batch. I'm talking about 1992 batch. I joined this department in the year 1992, and we were, I think, equal number boys and girls. So when I was a student, yeah. And I don't know if Dr. Arya remembers, we had Hema Tiwari, Alka, Sushmita
Yes, yes,
Kedia,
yes.
Mansi Mitra, Shalu, so Anshu. So we were like,
Shalini Sinha, Shalini Singh.
Shalini was 1 year my senior, sir. She
Okay,
was my
acha.
1 year senior. But we also, so our seniors were also like, there were many girls in our senior batch also.
Wow.
It was also a girls dominated class, I would say, rather,
Oh, wow.
more than what we had in our class. But the only challenge we had was we didn't have a ladies toilet that time. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, we never had it in the department. So when I became a faculty in the department, I think in 2007, I remember putting it in one of the meetings. And one of the colleagues, I don't want to name him because he's a senior colleague, he made fun. He said, in ladies ke liye mobile toilet van khadi kar dete hain bahar. Which I ignored because I never wanted to talk about all this. But I did not like that comment, that how insensitive anyone can be. And I was there. There was another lady in the department. We were two faculty members, women faculty members, and there were two quite senior faculty members. So we were four in number, and still we did not we never had a ladies' toilet as such. There was one toilet in which they said, okay, one segment you can use, but it was a toilet which was common for both. So finally, we got a toilet in the department, I think few years back on the first floor. So that was the kind of challenge we had. But I remember going to the field, and we never faced any such problem. Maybe our seniors must have faced, but I know from the records that there were many girl students in our senior batches also. Sir, if you recall, we had Meenakshi Vadhva as one of the very well-known figures in
Yeah, she is.
geology
Yes,
from
yes.
our department. Then Mridu madam, I remember some of the names, like they are all from geology. So the department was as such welcoming. We were never made to realize that we are girls and we cannot do
Madhuri is
geology.
also, yeah.
Yes, Madhuri madam, she's in environment, Department of Environmental Studies.
But
So
I,
she's
I,
also my
I
senior.
think, Mhm.
When
Yeah,
I
okay.
when I joined, I think she was a research scholar there. She was working with Dr. Prasad. And when I became a research scholar, she gave her room to me, like sweet of her. So all had a cordial relationship. As such, there was never any moment where I felt, okay, I shouldn't have opted geology. And I enjoyed going to field work, and we had nice memories of those trips also. So as such, and when I joined here as a teacher, I think I have been blessed to receive so much of respect and love from my students. They have always been kind to me, I would say, rather.
No, it's the opposite.
Yeah, and there's so much to learn from your students. Like when you start teaching, the real learning starts then. Because when you are a student, okay, you are into like you don't bother much about these things, or when you are into research, you just focus in one direction. But when you get a chance to teach, then you realize that it is not an easy job to teach. You have to prepare a lot. You have to be very ready with the questions of the students. And there were many a times I told them that I don't know the answer to this query, and I will look for it and try to help you. So there's no problem doing like confessing that, okay, if I can't answer you today, maybe tomorrow I'll come prepared with an answer and try to justify you. So when I started teaching, there were many things which I learned, and I think students, they teach you a lot of lessons in life also. So it is a never ending process. You can never say that, okay, I'm a teacher now and I don't need to study, or I don't need to work hard for my lectures. Every day you get to learn a lot, and with passing time, I think I have improved in my teaching skills and my communication skills. Everything with experience you learn, and still every day I feel there's so much to learn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yuvika, as you asked her, कि कितने student, girl students थे. So I think in our batch we had only two girls.
Okay.
So we started with 20 and we were two. And then our seniors were also two. और मीनाक्षी के बैच के भी दो ही थे.
सर आप
Okay.
कौन से बैच से हैं? आपका बैच कौन सा था? कौन सा ईयर?
मैं और आशु खोसला भी वो सेम बैच में.
Okay, you are in the okay. Oh, all right.
तो
So I think
अभी
3-4
क्या है कि
years
ये
are senior.
माधुरी भी हमारे से 1 साल सीनियर थी और ये भी. तो मीनाक्षी वादवा 2 साल सीनियर थी.
All right.
तो
Yeah, but
ये
we
मतलब
had many girl students, if you recall. हमारी क्लास में तो बहुत, मैंने आपको ये सब
हाँ
नाम
नहीं
बताए.
बहुत
They
हैं.
were all part of our class.
तो आज जो वुमेन्स डे का मतलब मेन मकसद था कि आज ये थॉट आई कि मैंने कहा चलो कुछ नहीं है तो एक शुरुआत करके देखते हैं इसमें.
जी
और
सर.
सबसे पहले आपका ही नाम आया क्योंकि यू हैव बीन सो डूइंग सच अ वर्क गुड वर्क ऑन
Yeah.
जियो हेरिटेज.
Brilliant.
कमेंडेबल जॉब. तो ये मतलब व्हाट वाज योर पीएचडी टॉपिक मतलब और
Okay,
कैसे तुमने वो
I'll
सिलेक्ट
tell you
किया?
about
हाँ.
my doctoral work. I did
Maybe
my
in brief you can
PhD.
just tell something.
Yeah.
How were you interested in doing PhD?
Geoheritage.
मतलब मास्टर्स के
Okay.
बाद मेरे ख्याल से most of your girls students, you know, they join other departments or they leave, you know.
Yeah.
What actually promoted you to be like मास्टर्स तो कर लिए, मास्टर्स तो सब कर लेते हैं क्योंकि घर का प्रेशर होता है या जो भी है कि हमने
जी सर.
डिग्री लेनी है. पर उसके बाद का जो सफर होता है कि how did you start that? Maybe you can
Okay,
something.
as I said, like, we never faced any problem when we were students, and I prepared for my net exam, and luckily I cracked the CSIR net exam, and there was this handsome fellowship which was being offered. So I was amongst the first 5 CSIR fellows from all over India. So in fact, I got a letter from New Delhi, NISCOM. There's this organization associated with CSIR that I can join them, and they can. I still have that letter with me where they offered me a job also after my PhD. So that time I did not I didn't feel like leaving this place, and I thought, okay, I'll pursue my geology PhD here itself in the department. So I requested. I was I was a big fan of Professor Mehta. If all of you know, I don't know, Yuvika is not aware of him, but I'm sure you know about Professor
Yes.
Mehta. He was one of the most
Yes.
dedicated teachers of the department. The most dedicated, I would say. He was
His concepts were very clear, you know, his concepts on
and
igneous
I was
and tectonics, both.
He was basically a mineralogist and a crystallographer. So I think I topped in his crystallography exam, and he used to teach us those 32 classes with those models, and I used to really enjoy it. So I approached him, and I think I was his first and the last student who did from geology who did PhD with him. There were 2 more.
Professor Mehta, you were
I am the
a
only.
student of Professor Mehta.
Yes, I did my PhD with him, and of course, Professor Naveen Chaudhary was a co-guide because he
But
opted
Naveen
him.
Chaudhary sir also, I think, did PhD with him.
No. He did with Ellen Gupta, Professor Ellen Gupta.
Okay. Ellen Gupta.
He was Professor Ellen Gupta student. I am the only student of Professor Mehta in the department. And when I approached him, there was few faculty members who got to know that she's approached him. And they all said, please don't do it. You will never be able to submit your PhD because these are perfectionists. So it was never like that. He was quite strict, but he taught me, and I owe him a lot. There was so much to learn from him.
Definitely.
There's no doubt about it.
Yes. Because
And then,
I can associate he was very meticulous, and he
Very
at that time
meticulous,
had
sir.
written a paper in tectono physics about I think this collision and all. I don't remember
Yes,
exactly,
sir.
but
Yes, sir. And he went to Leeds University. He was the first geochronologist from this region to date some of the rocks in Himalayas. So he was one of the best teachers, I would say, like Professor Sani. One of the most respected
what was
teachers.
your topic? What was your topic?
I worked on granites of Khetri copper belt.
Oh, granites of
On
Khetri
granites.
copper. Okay.
Haan ji. And then from there onwards, I did one training in kimberlites and alkaline rocks, which was through Geological Society of India. So through that training, I wanted to explore more about these exotic rocks because they host these diamonds and are very sporadically present in the Earth's crust. You can say, like, although they originate in mantle, but they do occur in, say, form of pipes and a very, very rare rock, not a very common rock. So when I got this opportunity, I was trained for almost 20 days, and there were two faculties which were invited from abroad. So one was Professor Roger Mitchell, who's a very, very well-known name in the field of these alkaline rocks. And the other person was from States, Dr. Howard Coppersmith. And there were a lot of Indians also from GSI and from universities who trained us, like Professor S.C. Patel, Professor Chalpati Rao. So they were all our, you can say, teachers who in a way trained us how to identify these rocks, how to look for indicator minerals in these rocks. And that created a lot of curiosity in me to know more about, to probe about these rocks. So that time I was a faculty here, and interestingly, Professor Sani got to know about this training, and he recommended my name in one of the IGCP projects, which was on diamonds, kimberlites, and xenoliths. So we were only 4 people, but then that group was broadened to 11 members, in which S.C. Patel, Professor S.C. Patel was there, Professor Chalpati Rao was there, and a lot of Dr. Ravi, who heads the Vajra Karur diamond project. So there were a lot of people who were very well experienced. So during that IGCP project, I had a chance to visit the Vajra Karur diamond field, and I was the only lady in a group of 11. And there also I was never made to feel that okay, we don't want to take her as a team member. So I was given equal opportunity. I could collect a lot of samples, and then I wrote to DDG Hyderabad that I should be allowed some facility to carry out some work on these kimberlites. So I was given opportunity twice to use the EPMA in Bangalore, PPOD division. And I participated in IKC, the 10th IKC, which was held in Bangalore. It's an event which is held every 4 years. So look at my luck. I got the best poster award. There were 500 delegates. And yes, that was like winning a Grammy award. And I still remember, Professor Chalpati Rao told me, Gurmeet, it feels like winning a Grammy award. I said, sure, sir, because this was so unexpected. And that was a turning point in my life, because through that poster presentation, I was invited to Lakehead University twice to carry out work on these rocks, and I could publish, I think, 6 papers with Professor Roger Mitchell on kimberlites and lamproites.
Oh, really?
But the
That's
limitation, yes, the limitation here is that we don't have analytical facility in the department, so we always depend on others. But along with your teachers, teaching assignments, and a lot of other stuff which we keep doing, it becomes difficult to go to other place and stay there for, say, months to get your work done. So yeah, so in year 2000, I think up to year 2016, I could carry out my work on these kimberlites and lamproids, but still I have my 3 students who are engaged in this field, and we have collaboration with the Norwegian group, and with a group in South Africa, where and also in NGRI, where this work is being carried out in collaboration. My students are working on lamproids from Raniganj and Jharia Basin, and one of the boys is working on carbonatites from Rajasthan. So we are doing work, and hopefully you'll get to see more papers in this field. And I was also to Gaborone, Botswana for my work. It was a fully funded invitation, where again I presented my poster on these lamproids of Bettycoat from Andhra. So then in year 2018, it was, you can say, a chance, or you can say, as I say, it is all destined. There were 5 Indians who were asked to submit their CVs for this Heritage Stone Subcommission vacancy of Vice Chair. So I was one of them, and they voted somehow in my favor because maybe they wanted to train a young person who can contribute to this venture of IUGS. So in 2017 and 18, when I applied for this position, I was appointed as a vice chair of Heritage Stone Subcommission. And I was that time reading a lot about what is this Heritage Stone Subcommission all about, or what is this International Commission on Geoheritage. So it is a commission like other commissions. There's International Commission on Stratigraphy, or there's a commission on you can say a task group on tectonics. There are different commissions, subcommissions, task groups, which are all working for IUGS. So when I entered this field, I met a lot of people who were working in the field of geoheritage, heritage stones, and this was something new in India. Although there are some people who always promoted the idea of preserving important, significant sites which have things to reveal about our past, in the sense history of the earth, you can say, or important events which occurred in the past. So this geoheritage group, which is run by IUGS as a commission, these people, they are also associated with UNESCO Global Geoparks event, and in collaboration, they have designated a lot of geosites, you can say, which are of significance as UNESCO UGGPs. And now on its own, IUGS is also planning to start designated some of these important sites as IUGS geosites. Earlier, the geoheritage group was not designating any sites. But yes, this subcommission on heritage stones. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
So
Hello,
you
is
said
there-
that
is
you
there
are
any-
not going to give
Okay. So this
lecture, but
heritage stones subcommission was already. You're not going to?
no, carry on, it's okay.
Yeah, we are
Pardon,
listening.
sir? Okay, so I was telling that IUGS geosite designation will start from this year onwards. So they are going to release a list of 100 geosites from across the globe, and it will be showcased to the world in November 2022 in Saint Sebastian. So we are having a meeting there where we'll talk about 100 geosites from which are designated from IUGS. But UNESCO has, I think, 161 UGGPs, where I think 41 are from China. But India is India is in a nascent stage where when it comes to proposing its geosites or geoheritage sites, because there's a criteria if you have to get your geoheritage site designated as a world or UNESCO designated UGGP, that there has to be a law in place where you give a plan how you are going to preserve your site. But as far as IUGS is concerned, we are no legal agency who will ensure that there has to be a plan in place, a legal plan. Our mandate is to recognize a site and designate it, because every country knows that this is a site which is of geological significance and we need to preserve. So there's no pressure from IUGS side that you have to have a law in place. It is up to them whether they want to have a law where they preserve their geosite. If they don't, it is up to them. So IUGS is not going to put any such binding for designation, but yes, UNESCO has a clause where they want that there has to be a bill, national bill, and then only you can propose site as a geosite or a geoheritage site. And also UNESCO promotes that particular site should look into the welfare of the people who are part of that natural site. Whereas IUGS will not take this into account. They just want to promote the geological significance of a place and want to designate them as geosites. Whereas heritage stones, if you talk about this, we have around 22 stones which have been designated to date, and they are the stones which have been utilized in man-made, all right, man-made stone structures or heritage monuments. For example, you can count many such monuments. Now, I can give you one very good example from India, that is Taj Mahal. We all know it is globally known for its architecture and its aesthetics. But recently, we got it designated, the stone which was used in making of Taj Mahal, as one of the global heritage stone resource. Now, this stone was quick to get recognized because everybody knows Taj Mahal, and it is also a UNESCO cultural heritage site. So me and my students, and we are collaborating with a lot of people, we are trying to push more stones from India. For example, our red sandstone, the Vindhyan sandstone, which has been utilized in the past in a lot of forts. You can count number of forts, the Agra Red Fort, Delhi Red Fort, then it was also used in Qutub complex, even in Taj Mahal. Then if you talk about the Deccan basalt, it was part of our culture since long, like we have these nice Ajanta Ellora caves or Elephanta caves. So there are many examples. There's this Charnokite rock. So this stone designation and site designation are two different aspects of International Commission on Geoheritage. And now there's third subcommission, which is most likely to be like it will be announced in March sometime. It will be a subcommission on geo-collections. Now, this subcommission will talk about all the collections which are geo-collections which are housed in museums. So we also want to promote that. They are also of significance. That's why they are housed in museums. So IUGS is planning to designate those collections as well. So this is in nutshell what is this International
Very
Commission on
interesting.
Heritage doing. Yeah. So for IUGS geosite designation, we don't need a legal document. If our site mentions about some important geological event or any such site which promotes some interesting geological processes, for example, this Meghalayan age carbonate caves, Mamlu caves, it might get designated as a geosite.
It might, but it is already getting a lot of fame in terms of its age recognition, you know.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So this is a geological significance. So IUGS will be very quick to designate it as a geosite. And now it is up to our government whether they want to preserve it, they want to, whatever they want to do it, because everybody is wise enough to preserve their heritage.
Mm-hmm.
So IUGS is not going to force anyone because they cannot control it. You must have heard about a lot of UNESCO designated sites. Now these sites are deprived of the tag once they are not able to maintain them. There are many examples. Yes, yes. If you read the document recently, there was this in one of these African nations, since they could not, there's a committee which evaluates the site every few years. And if they are not able to maintain it, they're not able to maintain the buffer zones. There are a lot of paperwork which has to be fulfilled in field also. It's not just about sending a plan. They come and they scrutinize your upkeep of the monument or the cultural site. And if you don't fulfill that, I think they strip that tag and you have to apply again. So they blacklist that monument or that place.
So I like to ask one or two questions, maybe.
So if you have any
Hello?
question, I'd be very happy to
Gurmeet. अभी आपने जैसे बताया कि it's
Hello,
a
sir.
very.
I think
Can
I
you hear me?
believe he was one of our guests in one of our functions in the department sometime back. Are you related with Piyush ji?
No, I came when Professor Loyal organized a conference sometime.
All right, sir. I remember seeing you sometime in the department. Yes, now I recall.
I was with ONGC that time.
Okay.
Nice to see you. Nice to hear you.
Thank you so much, sir. And it's so nice to have a senior like you in the department.
Yeah. Your topic was women in geoscience, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It's nice to see you as a women geoscience. My congratulations to you.
Thank you so
And
much, sir.
encouraging thing is that in ONGC also last from the recruitment again started very well from 2013. I find 60% women are able to enter geology now.
Yes,
And
sir.
most of them are from Rajasthan. So I wish that our geology department also picks up and more can join central services and oil and natural gas, which is somehow not happening right now. So we have to find a method to prepare students to be competitive. So
Yes, sir.
if students from Rajasthan universities like Bikaner, like some other places which are much smaller than Chandigarh. So it's basically PHU, ISM Dhanbad, Kharagpur, and Delhi, which are able to mark right now. And Chandigarh, unfortunately, lacking little bit. So we have to encourage our students to qualify for central services, ONGC, and but now the crude price is picking up again. The demand of geologists will come up. So
Yes,
like that. So my good wishes for.
So,
Nice to hear you. Nice.
Yuvika has to
I
leave because she has to take care of her baby. But I think Yuvika, you are also doing a wonderful job. And Gurmeet, maybe before she leaves, I'll just like to ask whether you see in this Shimla or maybe Chandigarh to Kasauli section or maybe Solan section. What we can do is we have very interesting sections as she's working on the paleosols, and she has very interesting studies done on maybe that is the first paleosols ever known, and we have maybe we can promote these as geoheritage sites, or maybe if we can all integrate, come together and have some platform, because
sir,
I'll just
sorry,
let me
interrupting you, but it is not always necessary that we have a global tag for everything. We can take pride in our national tagging also. Why can't we designate these sites as geoheritage sites and get some kind of accreditation from our government that these are of geological significance? I gave a talk in one of the refresher courses, which was organized by Savitri by Phule Pune University. And one of the persons mentioned that there was this talao where very nice pipes or tubes, vesicular tubes were exposed, and now they have put a lot of concrete all along the talao, and those features are not visible. And I have been reading a lot of stuff on the WhatsApp group also, which you and me are part of. I fully agree that the lacking is on our part somehow. because we have not been able to promote our ideas to the government and to the bureaucrats and to the common people, that what it means to them also. See, when I say it is never taught at a school level or at a college level, so the lacuna is there. If we start promoting it at a very, very basic level, then we don't have any programs where we try to inculcate this sense of taking pride in our geoheritage or geodiversity. Or we never tell them that, see, our life is so much associated with materials sourced from earth. The water we drink, the bicycle they ride, or their parents' cars, or the petrol, it all is sourced from earth. So they don't bother much about earth or what gifts earth has to offer us. So there are many things which need to be rectified. Our curriculum, our pace of promotion of geology, I think everything has to be done in tandem if we want to really promote geology. So I feel the onus is on us, because we are not able to communicate what we think is important to the government or to the people. Somehow I feel this way. See, now you are known for taking out water in those dry and arid and high altitude areas. So you made it visible through your work. So we have to do some kind of work, or we have to take a lead where we can make it visible. And it has to be, see, what is the use of doing geoscience if we are not able to communicate it to the society in a lucid manner? Who's going to listen to our talks if we just talk about technical stuff? We have to make them feel related to this, that in every aspect of our life there's a component of geology in it. When I take inspire talks, I almost like start with, what did you eat in the morning? Okay, whatever cereal they ate. Where is it grown? Okay, on soil. So where is soil formed? Okay, on rocks. So do rocks play a role in our lives? Yes. If we don't have rocks, we can't have soils. So where is the water stored? Where is the rainwater stored? Where is the ocean water stored? Just empty everything. What will you see? It's a rock basin. So we need to promote it in a manner where they start building a relationship with earth. And then I think we'll be able to solve these issues of taking care of our geoheritage.
Yes, definitely. So maybe, Ilyas, you have some questions? मोहम्मद इलियास। अच्छा, मैं अब आपसे पूछता हूँ कि जैसे now you rightly said that we have to identify certain sites. We don't have to worry about the international standards or something like that, because every site is geologically very important.
Yes, sir.
अब उसके लिए, that is what this Tethys Fossil Museum concept came up. Because I had this fossils from Kasauli a lot. I collected during my graduation days, and then almost did my PhD on the same topic. And then my problem was I had a lot of collection. Where to keep it? So I gave it to the Sector 10 museum here. Then after some time, I realized that this is not what I wanted, how they should keep it, And then Himachal government also tried, but you see, these these specimens have to be kept, and the story which they have to be told. They are two different aspects now. We may have a museum, and nobody visits those museums because they are like, they're just rocks to them. After sometimes they get bored,
Yes, that's the problem.
So now if you see that this fossil museum which we plan in, this is a storyline, right from the earth, and all the fossils which we have collected are mostly from the Himalayas, right from. And now what we are trying to do is, right from Chandigarh to Kasauli, we have all the different formations from Shivalics to Precambrian also, and then we have stromatolites, then we have the Subathu sequence, the Dagshai and the Kasauli. So our aim is, let's not, it's it's not because we are here now. So maybe what criteria best suits to make these as, maybe first we can identify these sites कि जहाँ पे मतलब the closure of the Tethys. So that becomes a very important site, you know.
Yes, of course it is.
So
It
we
is,
have all.
because,
So we
because of
have
that we have
identified.
these mighty Himalayas.
Gurmeet, we have identified all these sites. The closure of the Tethys, the white quartzite with fossil wood, so that is unknown before, and we have some fossils with oysters, huge rocks walls we have made in the Museum of Oysters. So what I mean to say is combining whatever experience we have from Chandigarh while traveling from Chandigarh to Kasauli, crossing all these geological formations with the passage of maybe about 90 minutes or 20, 1 hour, 2 hours journey, and we cross all these. So this combined effort, you know, and how to make it more, because if we go by UNESCO, then it is a long process. Maybe, as you rightly said, that yes, we can go by local approach. We can
Yes, sir, why
approach the
not?
government. So, and uh, we, by this way, we can just inculcate a small tour program uh, covering all these sites, you know, and in situ fossils also, in situ geological rocks also, and in situ various tectonic features which delineate shivalics and the lesser Himalayas, the main boundary fault. So we have identified all these sites. The purpose is once we uh, uh, traverse this and reach Kasauli, this museum, so we have the entire fossil collection, the best of it, in the displayed in the museum in a very chronological order. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I'm hearing you, sir.
So that way we can just give. My purpose is to, जैसे आपने बोला कि स्कूलों में नहीं पढ़ाया जाता है, तो बेसिकली क्या है, ये स्कूल के लिए बना रहे हैं सारा, ताकि एक 4th 5th 6th का बच्चा आएगा,
बिल्कुल,
तो वो तो मे बी you can just take up, मतलब if you feel, I don't say that you should take up, but if you feel that yes, this can be done in accordance with some project, or maybe some preliminary tours can be organized, and then we standardize it, maybe approach
मैं
for a
आपके
Indian
साथ
geopark, for an Indian geopark, you know,
मैं आपके साथ एक
Kasauli geopark.
मैं आपके साथ एक ब्रोशर शेयर करूंगी। मेरा अभी जो लास्ट ट्रिप था जुमाया का, उनका वो जियो हेरिटेज पार्क है। आप देखिए, उन्होंने 71 पिन्स लगाए हैं वहां पे, ओके, एंड एवरी पिन हैज अ हिस्ट्री टू रीड. Why is that point important? If we do it in that organized manner, I'm sure. And then think about dinosaurs, sir. एक पिक्चर ने डायनासोर्स ज्यूरासिक पीरियड को इतना फेमस कर दिया, हम लोग क्यों नहीं कर सकते? हम
अब
उन्हें प्रमोट
इसमें ऐसा करते हैं कि देखो, इसमें क्या है कि
ऐसे तो बोर ही होंगे स्टूडेंट्स अगर हम उन्हें सिंपली जाके कह दें,
बिल्कुल वो
they will never relate. They will never relate. We have to make some stories. Make the story of oyster so interesting. Make the story of whales so interesting that they feel like holding them.
Exactly. So maybe if you think, then we can just think of, because we have Dr. Jagmohan, we have a very renowned geologist from GSI, then a lot of team. So maybe if you, we just need on this, because you have been doing such a wonderful job on geoheritage and everything. So this track and these fossils which we have, maybe if you think, we can just try to build a story, or make it a part of a geoheritage, some, because
geoheritage trail, you can call it as a geoheritage trail, because you are
geoheritage trail and geoheritage sites, and and incorporate it in a form of a geopark. So we have a lot of history. Maybe some other day, because today is your day, so maybe we can.
ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
It's just like, you have done a commendable job. We are
Thank you
really,
so much, sir.
yeah.
I
और
feel
उसमें क्या
honored.
होता है,
What else
और
can I
अब
say?
इलियास, can you hear me?
He says he is in library and so he can't
अच्छा.
speak.
Oh, he cannot speak. So I'll speak on his behalf. So we had been working in Ladakh, Ilyas and his team worked in Ladakh with me for a couple of days, and then we were able to identify few paleo lakes in Ladakh. अब उनमें क्या प्रॉब्लम आ रही है कि these paleo lakes we try to reconstruct it and almost make a model of it, and now he's with his fellow beings are trying to you can say protect those because they are under sand mining is done because वहाँ पे एलियन डिपॉजिट्स हैं उस लेक को एलियन डिपॉजिट्स ने कवर कर दिया था that is how the lake was preserved, the paleo lake, but now the sand mining is trying to destroy those very interesting features which we think that are of paleoclimatic interest. I think, तो उसमें क्या है कि he is also now maybe because we have written about 2-3 papers and now we are almost in writing a paper on that. So that site of in Ladakh can also be taken up as a geoheritage site. So the president of their organization is also a girl. She was unable to join, I think, because of some connection problem. So Ilyas, now can you speak? No, I think he's not.
Never mind, we can meet
Chaliye,
sometime.
we can talk sometime else. So
organize, yeah. Everyone
so
gets a chance to speak on an occasion like this.
Yeah.
Where we
So
just
Gurmeet,
talk about your ideas.
Gurmeet, it was very nice talking to you. You have really
Same here, sir.
done a wonderful job, and it was
Sir,
interesting
it's
to
a
learn.
teamwork. I work with my
And
students and
you
my
are
collaborators.
carrying the legacy of I think as Professor Mehta was very quiet and silent, and he did his work. But I think you are just carrying his legacy forward. You are not quiet, but you are voracious, and then everything is very well connected. And he must be feeling very proud to have you as a student. And the way you have worked in the granites, and from there you traveled to Kippalites, diamonds, and the story goes on because that is basically what is required of a geologist. Not sticking to what he's learned, but always eager to learn and move on.
Diversifying,
with
yes,
this, yes.
I would say.
And
yeah.
then the geo heritage stones which you have almost now you are heading the chair. That is very I congratulate you again for that, and I wish you all the best for your all ventures in near future. You are a great inspiration for all the women geologists who want to adopt geology as a career and work in the fields. And I think by seeing your performance uh, not only in nationally in the field but also internationally, and the way you have done is really commendable. I
Thank you so
congratulate
much,
you,
sir.
and I thank you for accepting our invitation to be on this day at this hour in a very short time and sparing your valuable time on the Women's Day. And I think you were the perfect choice for being a woman
I
in
feel
science
honored
because
and my pleasure.
yeah,
I could interact with you, and it was nice.
definitely. I think it was very nice. Maybe in near future also we will like to maybe some short talks on how your experience with Kimbalites was. Maybe we can you can show some presentation and all, or
Yes.
maybe if you are interested, if you can, that is my personal request. If you can share maybe 1 or 2 specimens for our museum, we can just display it there for the and maybe a short note on how they were formed or something like that. We can just discuss. Maybe you can take your students along sometime to a museum. Maybe but still it's under construction, but yes, we can get because it's still under construction and we can make some modifications if required. The structure has been completed, but with your experience, I think we can just see that it is of international standards. And the basic aim is not to make it international standard, but to make it very communicable to the students, school students who want to just have a feeling of Mother Earth.
Yes, sir. That's
Thank you
the
very
sole
much. Then.
purpose, to make them feel connected with Earth.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, good afternoon.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye.